Welcome back to another episode of Automotive Insight. We have a 2004 Jeep Liberty. The customer was asking for like a pre-purchase inspection. The car was given to them, so they're just wanting to see what repairs are needed. The car is from Maryland, so the car has 36,000 miles. Is this a diamond in the rust? Let's find out. So we test drove the car. The car drives good. It doesn't brake so good. You can hear it grinding, so we'll check that out later in the video. But you know, while you got it on the ground, you want to go through and push all the buttons, make sure your windows work. Door locks, open it from the inside and outside handles. Air conditioning blows nice and cold. Radio even works, even though they're pretty bad. They tend to go bad. Wipers, push anything works. Flip.
Pop it. Push it. Pull it.
Down, visors down. Seat buckles. Inside looks really good. It's not very many miles, so in a garage kept. All right, while we're inside, we're going to check our exterior lights. The headlights. Check your running lights, your tail lights, brake lights, and then your turn signals, and then also like the license plate light. So it's easier if you have a helper. If you don't, brake pedal depressor works really well. Then you want to go ahead and check your front lights. You can definitely see the light bulbs change from high and low beam, and you can also do the turn signals. And then you can just get out and check and see if the running lights are working. So we're going to check under the hood. Lift supports aren't working, which is usually not a concern to the customer.
Not my problem.
The battery is fairly new, so that's a very important wear item. Most batteries in this region last about 3 to 5 years, unless they're the super cheap ones. You want to check your belt. Make sure there's no excessive dry rotting. You can see some rusting up here, but as far as any major repairs, your fluids, it's not the wear and tear that's affecting it. It's going to be the age of it. So they had the oil changed before they got the vehicle. Oil level is good. Oil looks, that's trans fluid. Check your air filter for rodent nest. That looks good. So the tires look in really good shape on this vehicle. They all look probably about 3/4 tread left, but with the low mileage, you always want to check the production date. So it's week 16 of 2010. These tires are 13 years old.
That is not a joke. That is a natural fact.
So usually most tires probably 5 to 7 years before you really start to see dry rot. Here's kind of what I expect to see when a vehicle's been up north probably more than 4 or 5 years. So alignments are going to be really hard to do. The vehicle drives straight. It's not an issue right now, but in the future that could definitely be an issue. And then if you look at your brake line right there, I've seen cases where the rust expands out enough and it starts to leak brake fluid. The left rear brakes, you can see that the pedal has been grinding metal to metal. Rotor's rusty. Brake hose looks okay. It'd be really hard to replace. You probably end up having to replace the brake lines and probably keep chasing it till you can get it free, or either cut and make your own brake line. So we're also going to need to inspect the parking brake, which is housed in here. That tends to get a lot of salt mixture too. So we'll have to pull this off and check that for issues. That's actually not too bad. There's a good bit of rust, but there's nothing as far as like it's going to rust through yet. I'm really surprised on the brake lines themselves. Exhaust is pretty rusty, but I don't see any holes. I do think there will probably be accelerated wear and tear on the vehicle just because of its it's older and then it's being used heavily. And then, you know, you want to check out your fuel straps. They're all right for now. Even the tow hitch is in pretty decent shape. I mean, there's no kind of vibration or noises, but when the time comes to replace U-joints, that would be a lot more work, and the whole drive shaft itself is pretty rusty. But as far as I need to replace right now, it's not needed. I don't know if that's coming all the way through the floor, maybe eventually. That's probably the drain area, but your fuel lines look good. I do eventually wonder if it'll rust through to the pan and start leaking from the transmission pan. Usually bracket points, this is a transcooler line. I've seen them break right there. It corrodes a lot quicker than the rest of it. That one's corroding more, but the boots are torn on the lower ball joint and the upper ball joint. We have checked it for any kind of free play. There's no excessive. There's no free play in it or excessive movement. So, is it worth replacing going through the hassle at this time? I would say no, but I mean, some other people could. State inspections. Yeah, state inspections. So, the front diff is kind of covered in oil, but it could also be kind of a sloppy oil change. Rack and pinion could be seeping, but that could also be. It's kind of hard to tell. So what I would do is clean it off and, you know, check it at the next oil change. So the last thing I do, like during like a pre-purchase inspection, is a health check. If you watch any of our scan tool videos, we can kind of illustrate and show which one's reasonably priced, and you can do even your own health check. But I like to go into the scan tool and look at the monitors. It shows all the monitors are complete. This one actually has a code in it, but that O2 sensor has been replaced. During the inspection, the O2 sensor looked new. There's no pending code, so it's probably just an old code. So so you can go ahead and erase it, but there's no check engine light. Monitors are complete, so I say the health check is good. So this is going to wrap up another one. This car is really close to the scenario of too good to be true. I would say if the customer was to purchase this, I'd say if the price is right. So the car does have some life left in it before maybe some serious rust issues start to show. So you get the brakes fixed and the other minor issues, it's good for probably a good couple years without any major issues. So if you like what you saw today, give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Look at that caramel color.